So, check out what we got here. This is a Pulsar thermal scope. I've always wanted to have a thermal scope. We've had thermal handhelds, but never a scope. So it stops you having to bloody hold a spotlight or have someone with you or try and strap another blooming torch on here somewhere. So Noah's going away on a trip this weekend down to Oakuni. There's a few deer around down there because no one's been down there for a while, and he's gonna be the first one to test it out. But first we've got to take it and sight it in now. So I've got my target here, that way around, and I've also got these bad boys, which are like a little heat pad. And you stick them onto the thing so you can see it in the thermal scope. Do some shots. It's pretty easy to adjust. I've had a look at the manual, so I think I can do it. So we're going to hook into it. Let's go.
Just really want it to shoot to like 200. It'll be all you want.
Yeah.
Not long range stuff.
I'm using the, what are they? Winchester 7mm08 140 grain power points is our ammunition of choice. So
where's my jersey?
Oh, there's one at home. I don't know what sizes. They were limited in sizes. They said give one to Sam because he's the best looking. I was like, okay.
He thinks he's the coolest.
Alright, let's go. Oh, I need that backrest to get it. You open them up. Look at like a sticky side. Peel off the sticker, and place the dog on there. It's like a period pad, but it's not. It's a heat pad. Let's go and shoot it. Maybe.
You might be able to do it.
Just push this button here to record when you want to shoot, and as you can see, I'll push record and I'll show you the bulls because they stick out mean as.
It's not that cold though either. But
no. And then you can see the target there. Oh.
Hopefully the gun
Zoomed in, is it? 8 times, 16 times, sort of.
oh, it's easy as to see now.
Yeah, once I
Compared to, oh, you can see the other one as well.
Yeah, I'll go over and check it out. See where it is.
Might not have even hit the box.
Let's see if my bore sighting even got it on the box. If it didn't, that's disappointing. I'll take a few more shots. So I'm just looking at the box here. This is the target, and this is where the bullet hit, off to the side here. So we just clipped the box, which is lucky because I can actually see where it is. So now I just need to adjust it, I don't know, about 10 inches maybe over to the right. So we'll go do that and see how good I can get it. Hit the box on the edge of the box, but it's real easy to adjust this thing. Okay, it's quite an easy system to adjust on the scope. You just push a button here on the side as you put the scope back on the bullseye, and then you just move the adjust it to where it actually hit, and then it resets it. So I've reset it pretty roughly now. We'll do another shot and see how far off it is after that. I'm not expecting it to be perfect yet, but I'm expecting it to be within that. We'll see how it goes. You're on shooting now. It's not that Noah's a better shot than me, it's just he's fucking will complain if I do it wrong, whereas if he does it then there's no excuses.
I'm definitely a better shot than you. Guarantee you that.
Definitely a better shot here, because we need to actually target like a shoot off. That'd be interesting.
Maybe, I don't know, like I'll be quicker to get a shot away than you.
No way.
Definitely.
No way.
I reckon Dad would even agree with me.
Oh, he's full of shit too. Alright, I'll go check again. See if I've figured it out properly. If it actually is easier or whether I'm just an idiot. That's pretty good. That's pretty much where we want it. So we'll just do the final little adjustment now and we're ready to go. After a few final adjustments, we had the scope zeroed in and ready to take out for a hunt. The next day, Noah headed down country to try and knock over some deer. Once he had arrived and it had gotten dark, he headed out to see what he could find. In this video, we are using the Pulsar Telos LRF XP50 thermal monocular and the Pulsar Thermion 2 LRF scope. These thermals are about as good as you will find on the market at the moment, and it didn't take long for Noah to pick out some animals grazing out into the pasture. As you can see, we've got it set up so the deer light up white, but you will also notice that some of the tree trunks that are still warm from the day also show up as quite white. So you need to take your time to pick out what's a deer and what's just a log or a rock or something else that's a bit warm. If you're hunting in the morning, it's easier to tell because these other objects have cooled down while the deer are still really warm. Because Noah was hunting on a full moon, he was able to stalk in without having to turn his torch on at all. He got to a position that was about 180 metres away and set up for a shot. He swapped out the monocular for the Pulsar scope and lined up. Because Noah had never spent any time out hunting with the scope and the deer weren't disturbed, he spent a little bit of time testing out the functions like the zoom and the rangefinder function. After playing around with the scope for a little bit, he decided it was time to shoot before this deer went behind the trees down low. So he lined up and got ready to pull the trigger. Because Noah was using the 7mm08 with a full suppressor on it, the deer didn't really know where the first shot had came from, which gave Noah a chance to shoot both deer. It was a great result for the first test out, and it was time to go see what he'd shot.
Here's the first one, nice fallow doe, so they'll be beautiful eating, and the other one's just up the hill, so I'll bring the other one down and I'll gut them, and Good first outing for the thermal scope. Pretty cool piece of kit. Couple fellows, so that's cool. Good start to the trip. Just finished getting those deer and I'll head home now, and we'll head out for another hunt tomorrow and see how we get on.
After the success of the first night, Noah decided to head back out again the next night and see what he could get. Once again, he didn't have to look for too long before he picked out his first mob of deer, and he snuck in to get into position to take a shot. Although the deer obviously still can see at night, they do seem to be a little bit impaired, or a little bit more relaxed at least, and Noah was easily able to close the gap to get into position to take a shot. Once again, the Thermion scope had done the damage, and Noah had another 2 deer on the deck. Thankfully, because they were right out in the paddock at night, he was able to drive right up to them and collect them and take them back to the chiller. This was a pretty unreal first experience for Noah with the thermal, and he was bragging about it when he got back home after all his hunting. The next week, it was my turn to head down to the farm and see what I could get. Not gonna lie, it's not entirely pleasant leaving the comforts of the home in the evening now on a sort of frosty cold night, but hey, the deer should be well and truly out now. It's about 9 o'clock, so hopefully they've moved down into the farm a bit more. See what we can find. So this is what 600 or 700 sheep looks like. I've got to walk through these to get into the hunting area. You can see their wool sort of makes them not look light up as much as other creatures. Just their faces. That's only about, I don't know, 20 metres away. Look up on the hill up here. See it adjust reasonably quickly. Let's get past the farmland, eh? Side by side. After making my way through the sheep and heading back out onto the farm, I had a look around with the Talos XP50 to see what I could find. I was amazed at just how quickly you can scan areas, and although the white does show up on tree trunks and things like that, it is pretty easy to locate an animal. I scanned as I was walking and waited until I spotted something. This was a stump that I had to check with the zoom to see if it was a deer, but it wasn't, so I kept on looking. After walking along for another 5 or so minutes, I looked up onto this hillside and saw this. It was a long way off, so I had to watch it for a bit until I saw its head move, and I knew it was definitely a deer. yards away, and a little bit of it's out in the open to try and stalk it, so we'll see what we can do. We'll close the gap and keep checking it with the thermal. Hopefully we can get this first one down. The problem with where this deer was being up so high was I had to stalk straight at it in clear view the whole time. I had the torch on my head and walking in the flat open paddock, but thankfully for some reason it wasn't able to notice me, and I kept closing the gap to get closer and closer. As I made my way to the deer on the hill, I was scanning around in case there was a deer closer that I might spook or be able to get a shot at, but I didn't notice anything, so I kept going. Once I got a bit closer, I tried to get a rangefinder on the deer to see how far away it was. Once I was right below him, I took another rangefinder to see how far away it was, and after that I scanned over to the left and noticed even more deer. It was at this point that I had to make a decision whether to go after all the deer that I could see up further or shoot the one that I could see right in front of me. I decided that the best chance was to get up to the top of the hill, hope that I didn't spook the first deer, and then I'd have a chance at shooting multiple deer from one spot. All I had to hope was that I didn't spook the first deer and chase everything else away, but it was a gamble I was willing to take. When I got to the top of the hill, the first deer was nowhere to be seen, so I pulled out the Talos XP50 hoping that I hadn't spooked everything off, and it was pretty obvious that I hadn't spooked anything at all. There were literally deer everywhere, so I scanned around to see what I could find and see which was the closest, best target to go for. Once I'd scanned the whole area to try and figure out where all the deer were, I did a bit of range finding to get an idea of just how far away things were. It can be quite deceiving at night to tell how far things are away, especially when you're not used to using the thermal, so the rangefinder function is bloody awesome. This deer down below me was the easiest target, so I swapped out for the scope and lined up on him. I could see that it had antlers, but I had no idea how big they were. It didn't really matter for me tonight, I was just trying to get some meat down. I flicked through the various zoom options and decided that the 8x was the best for this range. Now it was time to line up on the shoulder and squeeze off the shot. After making sure that the first deer was dead, I scanned up to see what else was still around. The really close deer had moved off, so I had to look up to the next ridge and decide what to shoot there. As you can see, there were plenty of targets, so I just had to pick one, get a range on it, and take the shot. Although the deer didn't drop within sight, it looked like a good shoulder shot by the way that she was running, so I decided to line up on one more deer and see if I could get 3.
That was freaking ridiculous. The deer don't even freaking know where the shots have come from. They just stand out in the open the whole time. Shot 3 there. One of them might be a little bit low in the shoulder, but hopefully it didn't run far. It looked reasonably well hit, so I think we probably got that. So yeah, I think we got 3 down. That was sick. It's like an insane pest control tool. Like, if you come here in the evening, you might see 10% of these deer, maybe 20 or 30%, but come out in the dark and it's just like, oh god, it's hard to tell what's a freaking sheep and what's a deer. But we're on the board. Got a hell of a clean up on our hands now, though. You little beauty. That thing's a destroyer. Absolutely ridiculous how easy that is to shoot deer. Like, I can see why people say they're not sporting, but far out, it's just so effective, so unbelievably effective. Being inexperienced with the shooting with this at night and stuff, it's real hard to gauge distances, even though you've got the rangefinder. Without that, it's like you don't know if something's 50 meters away or sort of up to 200. It's crazy. And then when you shoot them, you don't have your bearings on where the hell they've gone, so you got to be a bit conscious. I mean, you can record with this, which obviously helps, and if you see them die, it's always good. But makes them easy to locate as well, when you can see the whole body lit up like a Christmas tree. But man, this is a strange thing for me. Real weird. Really awesome, but strange. So I'm pretty sure it's just over this ridge ahead of me here somewhere. Have a look through the thermal, show you what it looks like. Trying to find stuff. Pretty sure he's just here somewhere. That's where I thought he died, but I'm a bit confused. There he is. Can't miss it now. Over here. What do we got? It's hard to tell whether the red's or fallow. But it looks like this one is a red. And he had antlers. I could see antlers when I shot him through the scope. Actually, he's got alright antlers actually. Holy shit. He's actually quite a nice one. Real nice one. Oh, that's crazy. This is the big one that we saw in frickin' Velvet with the funny leg. I can't believe I just shot him. That's out the gate. The boys are not going to believe that. It just shows the big boys come out at night, eh? What the hell? I can't believe that. What the frick? Holy shit. This is the big dog that we
filmed in velvet on the farm. We thought we were never going to see him again, honestly. That's unbelievable. He's a big 12. Well, nice 12 anyway. Big, a lot bigger than what I was expecting to have shot right now. That's ridiculous. Bit stunned, to be honest. Was not expecting that tonight. Just goes to show the big boys come out at night. Well, there is my stag that I just shot. And yeah, not expecting him to be that much of a corker head. Check that out. Beautiful 12 pointer with a bit of character here. That there, could maybe call him a 13. Could hang a ring on that, but I'll call him a 12. That's unreal. That's such a beautiful, perfect head. Been after him since the raw. Actually, since he was in velvet, we saw him, and we haven't seen him since. And we thought someone else must have got him, but no, he's just been hiding away. He's only like probably under a K from the house. So he's just cunning and comes out at night. That's pretty unreal. Just shows the big boys know when they're safe, but they're not safe anymore with the thermal gear. Perfect. I might just set him there for tonight and come get him in the morning. But pretty wrapped with that. Now it was time to go and see what the other 2 deer I shot were. It didn't take me long to locate them. The second deer that I shot that ran down the hill was a big red hind, and the third deer was a yearling red hind. Needless to say, I was bloody impressed with how effective the thermal gear is for culling animals. Although I was stoked to shoot the big stag, if I'm being completely honest, I would have preferred to shoot him during the daytime with the normal guns and scopes, just for the excitement of knowing how big he was before I shot him, and also making it a bit more sporting. But as far as tools for culling deer go, on properties where numbers need managing or simply getting meat on the table, the thermal gear is absolutely unbelievable. In New Zealand, the thermal scopes are illegal on public land at present, but the thermal handhelds are allowed to be used in daylight hours to identify animals, which I think is a good balance. With night hunting still off limits, it keeps people safe, but the handhelds will help people locate animals more efficiently, which will help people gather meat and control numbers more effectively. Everyone has their own preferences for what they use hunting, but for me personally, I enjoy the new technology, and after using the thermal monocular for locating game and seeing how ridiculously fast and simple it is, I know I'll be taking them on every trip into open country from now on. If you want to see how that plays out, make sure to subscribe because we've got some exciting new episodes coming up, and let us know what your thoughts are on thermal hunting in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, we'll catch you later.